Human Armada arrives and wipes out the enemy in moments. Something is moving, he said, not taking his eyes off the screen. His communications officer, Maya Ford, looked up from her console. It's far away, she said, outside the system. They were used to the long silence of space. They had seen danger before, but the galaxy had changed. The human alliance had grown strong, and the old threats were supposed to be gone. On the far side of the bridge, Lieutenant Cole Harrison checked his weapon systems. He was young, but he was good. He had a calm way about him, like he was already used to the worst. He glanced at Ryan. "Captain," he said, "our scanners show a fleet approaching. It's not human. Tell them we are seeing something we can't explain." Tessa did not answer right away. She watched the incoming data. The message from the Valiant was short, but it carried a strange feeling. "We are being watched," Tessa said, "and someone is coming." She reached out and moved the dots, trying to understand. "Get me the fleet commanders," she said. Within minutes, the main commanders were gathered in the war room. There was General Lucas Hayes, who had fought in the last Great War. There was Commander Alina Wright, known for her calm decisions. There was Admiral Marco Reed, who believed in strength above all else. Tessa spoke first. "We have a strange fleet approaching the edge of our system," she said. "The Valiant saw it. They don't know what it is. The movement is too fast, and the formation is too tight. This is not a scouting group. This is a strike force." The human fleet had retreated. The humans had lost ships, lost planets, lost people. The aliens believed the humans were weak. They believed the humans would surrender. The aliens had no respect for human strength. They had only respect for human numbers. The alien commander, a tall being with gray skin and black eyes, stood on the bridge of his flagship. His name was unknown to the humans. The humans only called him the commander. He watched the galaxy map. His fleet was near the human border. His ships were ready. His weapons were ready. "Soon," he said, his voice deep and cold, "we will crush them." They have not responded. Ryan paced slowly. He felt the weight of the moment. He had led his ship through many battles, but he had never felt this kind of fear. The fear was not for himself. It was for the people he loved, for the worlds he protected. "Captain," Maya said quietly, "we have a message." Human code was used only by the Alliance. If someone else had it, it meant they had stolen it. Or worse, it meant they were human. He walked to the console. Maya played the message. A voice spoke, calm and clear. "This is Admiral Tessa Harris," the voice said. "All human ships prepare for immediate departure. Do not engage unless ordered. Do not attempt to attack the enemy. Stand down and await further instructions." "It means they want us to let the enemy come closer." "Prepare the ship," he said. "We will move to a safe position, but we will not engage unless we must." Stories of humans fighting against impossible odds. Stories of humans refusing to surrender. Stories of the time when humanity had been hunted by the old enemy and had risen stronger. He had never believed the stories were true. He had always thought they were just legends. But now he felt the truth in them. Humans did not surrender easily. On Earth, Admiral Tessa Harris sat in the war room watching the same data. She knew the enemy was strong. She knew the humans had suffered. She knew the fear that had spread through the Alliance. But she also knew something else. She knew that the human fleet was not truly defeated. She knew that the humans had been building something in secret, something the aliens did not know about. She had been the one to approve the plan. She had been the one to keep it hidden. She had been the one to wait. Now the moment had come. "Prepare the Armada," she said. General Hayes stared at her. "Armada?" he asked. Tessa nodded. "Yes," she said. "The human Armada. The one they say can destroy an enemy in moments. If we do not act, the enemy will destroy everything we have built." This was the moment they had been waiting for, the moment the humans would stop running. As the human ships gathered, the alien commander watched from his flagship. He saw the human ships move. He saw them gather. He smiled again. He believed the humans were still weak. He believed they were gathering for a final surrender. "They will come to us," he said. "They will beg for mercy. They are easy to break." "Hundreds," she said, "maybe more. Tell them what we are about to do." And now the human Armada was coming. The alien commander still believed he was in control. He still believed the humans were afraid. But the human Armada was already moving. And in the dark space between the stars, the first signs of the end began. The humans were ready. The enemy was not. And the galaxy would soon witness a moment that would be remembered for generations. The human Armada moved through space like a river of steel. Ships of all sizes slid in perfect lines, each one holding its place. The engines of the Armada hummed together, creating a sound that was almost like a low heartbeat. On the bridge of the flagship Liberty, Admiral Tessa Harris stood with her hands behind her back. She watched the data on the screen. The enemy fleet was close now. The distance between them was shrinking fast. "They are still not reacting," she said. General Lucas Hayes looked at her. "Maybe they are afraid," he said. Tessa shook her head. "No," she said. "They are confident. They believe we are weak." "They have a large fleet," she said. "Too large for a weak race. I want to show them mercy." The enemy ships were dark and sharp like knives. They looked deadly. Ryan Cole stood with his hands on the rail, watching the view screen. His eyes were fixed on the enemy. He felt his heart beat fast. "Captain," said Lieutenant Cole Harrison, "the enemy has sent a message." The alien commander's voice came through, calm and cold. "Humans," the voice said, "you are surrounded. Surrender now, your lives will be spared." "Tell them," he said, "that humans do not surrender. Tell them we will fight. Tell them we are not afraid." "Prepare the first strike," he said. In the human armada, the ships moved into their positions. The smaller fighters flew ahead like swarms of insects. The larger battleships held back, waiting. On the Liberty, Admiral Tessa Harris watched the movement. She spoke to her officers. "We do not attack first," she said. "We let them show their hand. They will show us their power." The enemy believed each human ship was alone. They believed the humans were weak because they were scattered. But now the humans were together. Now they were strong. The first strike came without warning. One moment the enemy fleet was quiet. The next moment a bright line of light cut through space. A beam shot from the enemy flagship aimed at the human armada. The beam hit the Liberty. The bridge shook, alarms screamed, lights flickered. Admiral Tessa Harris held her ground. She did not move. She did not show fear. "Status report," she said calmly. "Shields are holding," said one officer, "but we took damage. Now we respond." The enemy commander watched in shock. He had expected a slow battle. He had expected to weaken the humans. He had expected to win. Instead, he saw his ships vanish. "What is happening?" he asked. His officer looked at him. "Their weapons are stronger than we thought," she said. The commander's face turned dark. "Then we must strike harder," he said. He ordered more weapons to fire. More beams shot out, more ships exploded, but the human armada was not weak. It was prepared, it was trained, it was ready. The human ships moved like a wall. They absorbed the enemy attacks and returned fire. The enemy ships could not break through. On the Valiant, Ryan Cole watched the battle. He saw ships explode. He saw the enemy fall. He saw the human armada move like a storm. "Captain," said Maya, "we have enemy fighters coming in." But the human fighters were better. The human pilots had trained for this. They had trained for the moment when the enemy would attack with everything they had. They knew how to move. They knew how to fight. In the sky of space, the human fighters met the enemy. The battle was fast. It was loud. It was deadly. Within minutes, the enemy fighters were gone. Ryan watched the screen. He felt a strange calm. He felt the power of the Armada. He felt the truth. Humans were not weak. Humans were not simple. Humans were strong. The enemy commander watched the battle and felt fear for the first time. He had never felt fear. He had never needed to. But now he saw his fleet dying. He saw his ships explode. He saw the human armada move forward like a blade. He looked at his officers. "We must retreat," he said. His officers looked at him in shock. "Retreat?" one of them asked. "We are the conquerors. We do not retreat." He knew the enemy had no choice. He turned to his ship's controls. "Prepare the final strike," he said. "We will end this now." "They are preparing something big," she said. General Hayes nodded. "Then we stop it," he said. Tessa looked at the map. She saw the enemy ships gathering in one place. She saw their weapons ready. She turned to her officers. "We will not let them fire," she said. "We will break their fleet before they can use their weapons." The ships moved together like a single body. They moved toward the enemy center. The enemy commander saw the human armada move toward him. He thought he had trapped them. He thought he had the advantage. He was wrong. The human armada struck. The human ships fired together. Their beams cut through the enemy fleet. The enemy ships had no time to react. In moments, the enemy center was destroyed. The enemy flagship exploded in a bright flash. The enemy fleet was broken. The alien commander felt the shock. He had lost his ship. He had lost his power. He looked at his remaining ships. They were damaged. They were weak. They were scattered. He realized the truth. The humans had not been weak. The humans had been waiting, and now the humans had won. In the quiet after the battle, the human armada moved slowly. The stars were bright again. The empty space where the enemy had been looked like a wound that was finally healing. On the bridge of the Liberty, Admiral Tessa Harris stood silently. She looked at the screen and saw the remaining enemy ships retreating. General Hayes spoke softly. "They are running. And they will not return." He thought of the humans who had fought and died. He felt a deep pride. The human armada had arrived, and in moments the enemy had been wiped out. After the battle, the human armada moved slowly through space. The ships were not celebrating. They were quiet. The crew members were tired, and many of them were still shaking. The victory had been huge, but the cost was real. On the bridge of the flagship Liberty, Admiral Tessa Harris sat down for the first time in hours. She had been standing the whole battle. Her body felt heavy. Her mind was heavy too. "Admiral," said General Lucas Hayes, "we have survivors." She knew the enemy would not surrender. They would not ask for peace, but she also knew something else. "We must help them," she said. The officers stared at her. "Help them?" asked Commander Alina Wright. "They tried to kill us." "We do not become killers just because they are killers," she said. "We become better, we become stronger, we become the ones who end the violence. Tell them we will not kill those who surrender." The enemy believed humans were weak and cruel. They believed humans would kill anyone who fought them, but now the humans were showing a new kind of strength. The human armada moved closer to the damaged enemy ships. They did not attack. They kept their weapons ready, but they did not fire. The enemy ships drifted, damaged and broken. Their crews looked at the humans with fear and confusion. They had expected the humans to kill them. Instead, the humans opened rescue doors. Human medics went out in small pods. They moved to the enemy ships. They carried injured aliens. They carried them back to human ships. The aliens were surprised. Some of them cried. Some of them tried to fight. But the humans were careful. They did not hurt anyone who did not fight. On one of the enemy ships, a young alien soldier lay on the floor. He was bleeding. He looked at the human medic with fear. "Why are you helping me?" he asked, his voice weak. The human medic, a woman named Sarah, smiled softly. She had a calm face. She looked at him with kindness. "Because you are alive," she said. "Because you are a person. Because we do not kill those who surrender." She felt a strange emotion. She felt relief. She felt sadness. She felt pride. General Hayes stood beside her. "They will talk," he said. Tessa nodded. "Yes," she said. "They will talk. They will tell their people what happened." She thought of the enemy survivors. "I don't know," she said, "but we have given them a choice. We have shown them a different path." They felt the power of it. In the enemy fleet, the surviving aliens gathered on a damaged ship. The alien commander was not there. He had been killed in the battle. His ship had exploded. The officers argued. "We should fight," one of them said. "We should strike again. We are weak." The officers did not know what to say. The young officer continued. "We have been taught to hate," she said. "But now we see the truth. We have been wrong. If we die with peace, we die as people." The silence felt heavy. Lieutenant Cole Harrison sat beside Ryan. "Captain," he said, "I did not expect this. But we are not here to be expected. We are here to be human. Because we are not monsters." As the human armada moved away from the battle site, the ships began to repair themselves. The engineers worked day and night. They fixed the damaged hulls. They repaired the shields. They replaced the broken parts. The crew members took time to rest. They slept. They talked. They remembered the people they had lost. On the bridge of the Liberty, Admiral Tessa Harris watched the repairs. She spoke to her officers. "We must return to the worlds," she said. "We must protect them. We must rebuild." They felt the weight of the words. The human armada had won the battle, but the war was not over. The enemy might return. New enemies might come, but the humans had shown the galaxy something new. Humans were not just fighters. Humans were protectors. Humans were a force that could end a war in moments. And now the galaxy would remember the human armada. If you want, I can write part 4 next. Write part 4 of 1,600 words and it should be interesting, and write it in third-person style. And it should be in simple and basic English. Use simple and basic English and without hating. The ships were quiet. The crew members were tired. They had seen too much. They had fought too hard, but the mood was not sad. It was calm. It was like the moment after a storm when the air feels clean. People were beginning to feel something they had not felt in a long time: peace. On the flagship Liberty, Admiral Tessa Harris stood in front of the main window. She looked at the stars. The stars looked the same as always, but now they felt different. They felt like a new beginning. General Lucas Hayes joined her. He was still in his uniform, but his shoulders were less tense. He looked at the stars, too. "We did it," he said softly. Tessa did not answer right away. She thought of the lives lost. She thought of the world saved. She thought of the enemy survivors. She thought of the message they had sent. Yes, she said finally, we did it. They saw us help their wounded. They saw us offer peace. Ryan looked at the screen. The human armada was moving toward the inner system. He felt a strange feeling. He felt proud, but he also felt small. The armada was huge. The armada was strong. He was just one captain among many. Maya Ford walked up to him. "Captain," she said, "I received a message from the Alliance. Admiral Harris wants all ships to gather at the new base," she said. "She wants a meeting with all commanders." Ryan left the bridge and walked toward the meeting room. He felt the weight of the moment. He knew this meeting would change everything. At the new base, a large space station near Earth, commanders gathered. They came from many worlds. They came from many fleets. They came with different experiences, but they all had the same feeling. They had seen the human armada. They had seen the power. They had seen the kindness. Admiral Tessa Harris stood at the front of the room. The commanders sat in rows. The room was quiet. The silence felt heavy, but it was not a sad silence. It was a respectful silence. Tessa spoke. "We have won a great battle," she said, "but we must not think the war is over. We ended their power. Why would the war continue? We must not become the kind of force that others fear. We must not become the kind of people we fought against. One that includes those who want peace. This is our new mission." She thought of the humans who had destroyed her fleet. She felt a strange emotion, respect. She spoke to the other officers. "We must change," she said. "We must stop the war. They gave us a choice." She decided to send a message. She sent it through the damaged communication systems. It was weak, but it reached the human armada. The message was simple. "We surrender." The commanders looked at her in surprise. "The enemy surrendered?" asked one commander. Tessa nodded. "Yes," she said, "some of them. We will not forget the past, but we will give them a chance." The crew members heard the message. They felt a strange emotion. Some felt joy. They felt relief. They felt hope. Some felt anger. They remembered the lives lost. They remembered the pain, but the majority felt something new. They felt that the war might end. Ryan Cole sat in his quarters. He looked at the stars. He thought of the battle. He thought of the aliens they had helped. He thought of the humans who had died. He felt a tear on his cheek. He did not wipe it away. He let it fall. Maya Ford entered the room. She sat beside him. "Are you okay?" she asked softly. Ryan nodded. "I am tired," he said, "but I am also hopeful." "No," she said, "the day we choose peace." On the bridge of the Liberty, Admiral Tessa Harris watched the scene. She spoke to her officers. "We will not let them attack us," she said. "We will not let them escape. We will protect them." She knew the galaxy was watching, and she knew that this moment would be remembered. Humans had won the battle. Humans had offered peace. Humans had chosen a new path. As the human armada continued its journey, the worlds of the Alliance began to rebuild. Cities were repaired, farms were replanted, families returned to their homes. Children played in the streets again. They laughed. They ran. They were not afraid. On Earth, people gathered in the streets to watch the sky. They saw the human armada pass by. They felt a pride that was deep and real. They had been saved, they had been protected, and they had been given a new future. Admiral Tessa Harris stood on the deck of the space station watching the armada pass. She felt a quiet joy. General Hayes stood beside her. "We did it," he said. Tessa smiled. "Yes," she said, "we did it." Humans were a force that could end a war in moments, and humans were a race that could choose peace even after winning.